Assalamu alaikum, family. This is Ryan X coming to you here on this live. Been about a week since I've been on here. My wife and I, we just got back from Detroit a couple of days ago for my family reunion. We had an excellent time. A lot of laughter, a lot of love. There were family members I haven't seen in 25 to 30 years. Some I met for the first time ever. So it was a blessing to see them in good health. My family had lost a lot of family members over the last, well, actually over the last 25 years, including my grandmother and, well, both my grandparents. But it was good to see them nevertheless. I thank Allah that, we're all in good health for the most part. We have a couple of my elder aunts, um, my surviving aunt, my grandmother's sister. She's battling shingles and other health issues, but she's yet here. Another aunt of mine is on dialysis, but she's yet here, holding on strong. So we give thanks to Allah for that. It was a great time. I just enjoyed my family. My mom's fiance, great brother. Um, Cousins I hadn't seen on my grandfather's side, they came by to surprises, and it was just a great time. It was warm in Detroit, especially in the evening because it got humid. But we just had a wonderful time. I was able to see my brother. I was able to go to the African World Festival, so that was good. That was there in Detroit, across the street from the hotel we were staying, and just a wonderful time. So we just give thanks to Allah for that. That's just great. That's great. Um, and we got back on Tuesday. So I was a little jet lagged. I was tired Tuesday and tired yesterday. So this is the first opportunity I have to hop on here. Like I always start off all my lives. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. This is the day that Allah has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And the likelihood that you're having one of those days, always remember this. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope, trust, and faith in Allah God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. Also, I had an uncle. I want to mention my uncle. He's 70. He suffered 3 strokes. He's paralyzed on his left side. Been that way for about 16 years now, but he's still holding on strong. He has a sense of humor and he still has his memory. So it was just great to see my family. But the topic for this video is Malcolm Jamal Warner, who we all know as Theo Huxtable from the hit TV show of the 80s, The Cosby Show. He played Dr. Huxtable, played by Dr. Bill Cosby. He played his one and only son, Theo Huxtable. Theo was the middle child. Yeah, he was the middle child. Sandra and Denise were older. Rudy and I'm sorry, Vanessa and Rudy were younger. So Theo was right in the middle. So um, this brother passed away at the age of 54. Reports said accidental drowning in Costa Rica. He was swimming with his 8-year-old daughter and he caught a rip current. Witnesses were surfers saw what was going on. They swam out to shore. They swam out into the ocean, what so have you. They were able to rescue his 8-year-old daughter and they pulled Malcolm-Jamal Warner from the water and they tried to resuscitate him for 45 minutes, but they were unsuccessful. And this brother passed away at the age of 54. May Allah be pleased with our brother. He was one of the good ones from what I've been hearing. From what I've seen, he was one of the good ones and highly weird. There are not too many out there that are good, but this brother seemed like a wholesome brother that he just wanted to make a living for his family, do the right thing. He wasn't embroidered in any scandals. He just seemed like a real down to earth, hard working brother who loved his people. He was a musician. He was a poet. He spent 8 years on the Cosby Show, like I mentioned. After that, he spent 4 years on the show Malcolm and Eddie with our brother comedian Eddie Griffin. That lasted for 4 seasons. He was in another sitcom with, I believe, with Tracy Ellis Ross that lasted maybe about a season or two. I can't remember the name of it. He was in the show The Resident. He was in Suits. He made an appearance on there. I remember him on there. He made an appearance. He was in made an appearance just recently. I think over the last year in the show 911. So the brother was busy. He had a podcast that he was doing. So the brother was staying busy. He had his music, and again he was a poet. So the brother wasn't didn't go off into oblivion. He was still active and still doing things. Great brother from what's been reported by his peers. Eddie Griffin spoke highly of him. Of course, Dr. Bill Cosby, Felicia Rashad. I just saw Raven Simone did. Um, Tracy Ellis Ross, Jamie Foxx, Adam Sandler, who got his start on the Cosby Show playing Smitty, one of Theo's friends. I think there was a statement by Carl Anthony Payne, who played Cockroach, and he later became famous for playing Cole on the hit sitcom Martin. I believe there was a statement from him. But just so much love and support been pouring out to this brother. But most importantly, my heartfelt condolences and prayers go out to his wife and daughter. My condolences and heartfelt prayers go out to them. His wife and daughter, his close friends, and his cohorts in Hollywood in the entertainment industry. They're in my heartfelt condolences and they're in my prayers. I felt like part of my childhood died. I grew up on the Cosby Show. Malcolm-Jamal Warner is 6 years older than I am. Well, he would have been 55 next month. I'm 49. So yeah, it's a 6 year difference. So he could have been my big brother. He was big bro. Um, I grew up in watching him from the time he was 14 to now. So 40 years. I watched his brother go from a teenage young man, from a teenager to a father in his mid 50s. And it was great to see his transformation. Great to see how he matured and how he just kept on working in the entertainment industry. That he didn't fall into oblivion. That he was still active. He seemed to be healthy from what from what I saw. I don't know of any health issues he suffered, but this is just sad, just tragic on so many levels. Again, may Allah be pleased with our brother. May He be pleased with him. Gone too soon. Um, yeah, just I didn't know brother, of course, but I felt like I did know him, if that makes sense. You know, um we're fans of these entertainers, some in sports, like with Kobe Bryant. I didn't know Kobe personally, but I felt I knew him because I followed him closely. I followed Malcolm Jamal Warner closely. I followed Michael Jackson and Prince closely. We didn't know them, but we were fans of them, and we just everything they were involved in, we were in tune to. So we just felt like part of us died. Part of my childhood died. And this one hits hard. I normally don't come on here and report deaths of entertainers. For the most part, I don't. Every so often I do, but this one hit hard. This one really hit hard because this brother was on the arguably the greatest show of my lifetime. Was the Cosby Show. We grew up on it. They gave us an example of black excellence. Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable was a obstetrician, successful obstetrician. His wife, uh, Clara Hanks Huxtable, was a successful attorney. They lived in a brownstone in Brooklyn. Beautiful home, 5 beautiful children. Yeah, they had the issues, and children do. They misbehave. They didn't do things that their parents agreed with. But that's children. That's families. They weren't like good times where they were struggling to survive. They didn't know if they were going to be able to pay the rent or were going to get evicted. That we had enough of that. They weren't like the Jeffersons, where and I love the Jeffersons, but George Jefferson was trying to be close to whiteness, and he thought moving on up, being close to white people, was the answer to his success. Y'all remember George Jefferson wanted to always meet Mr. Whitendale, but meanwhile, he didn't like honkies. So it wasn't that. And I love the Jeffersons. No slight to that TV show. It wasn't Sanford and Son, where father and son was struggling to pay the bills. They lived in a junkyard, literally a junkyard. Their front yard was a junkyard, and their home was a junkyard. They had junk everywhere. I think the only clean part of their home was the kitchen, and that looked kind of shabby. But it wasn't that kind of sitcom where they were struggling to pay the bills. They didn't know if they were going to make it. It wasn't that. The Huxtables didn't struggle financially. They were a successful family, and they showed that that type of family exists in Black America. We may not have seen it in our own neighborhood, but it did exist. It existed in Detroit. It existed in Philly, in New York, in Atlanta, in Dallas, and LA, especially there. So the Huxtables did exist. We just didn't see it on our everyday lives. But Dr. Cosby, and I still consider him to be Dr. Cosby, he brought it to fruition. And for 8 years, that show was on the air, and it was NBC's top show. If it wasn't at least in the top 10, the last two seasons, or I think so to speak. I may have to fact check that, but that doesn't matter. Bill Cosby was the king of television in the 80s and into the 90s. Before I go any further, hit that like button, smash that like button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications whenever I do videos on here. And Malcolm Jamal Warner was part of that show. He was a part of television history, legendary TV show. I will forever love the Cosby Show. And I know there's been some slight, what's that clown on CNN? He threw shade on Bill Cosby on his allegations of sexual assault. Why even do that? But see, that's what these devils do. That's what they do. Gail King did the same thing when Kobe Bryant died. In her interview with Lisa Leslie, she brought up the fact that Kobe allegedly raped that young lady in Colorado back in 2004. Why throw dirt on the legacy of someone when they pass? It's just disrespectful, and it's not fair to the family, to their close friends, cohorts, and fans. It's utterly disrespectful. I think it was Jim Shudo. I think that was this bozo's name on CNN. But that's what CNN is. It's Clown News Network. Clown News Network. A bunch of clowns. And for him to bring up Bill Cosby's sexual allegations while reporting on the death of our brother 3 days ago, it's callous, and it's not journalism. It's garbage. It's trash. But that's what these devils do. They major in trash and garbage because that's what they are. So I don't expect anything more. But again, My condolences to this brother's wife and child, his daughter, 8 years old. Um, the cast of the Cosby Show, the cast of Malcolm and Eddie, um, other shows he was on, Suits, 911. My condolences. Um, Brother's gone too soon. This one really, really hits hard. It does. Because like I said, I didn't know brother, but I felt like I did know brother. Like he could have been one of my close homies. And Malcolm-Jamal Warner, it should be noted that he had a close relationship with members of the Nation of Islam. He was close to Brother Reza Islam. And so he knew. Matter of fact, I read somewhere where his parents named him after Brother Malcolm, Brother Malcolm X, Malcolm Jamal Warner. So this one hits hard. I Yeah. When I heard this on Monday, I was going to my aunt's house to see my aunt who I mentioned, my aunt who has health issues, but yet she's still here. And when I was pulling out the driveway, my wife was on her phone and she got an alert that report said that Malcolm Jamal Warner died from drowning. I was pulling out my mother's driveway, literally. I was like, damn. And he's the only member, well, we know the grandparents on the Cosby Show, Dr. Huxtable's parents, they passed away. But from the main cast members, he's the only one to that has passed on. The only one. Uh, Dr. Cosby celebrated his 88th birthday 2 weeks ago. Felicia Rashad is still, she's around. She's on The Shy. She has a role on The Shy, the TV show The Shy. Sandra, played by I can't think of her name right now. She's still alive. Alvin is still alive. Denise, Lisa Bonet, still alive. Tempest Bledsoe, who played Vanessa Huxtable, still around. Keisha Knight Pulliam, who played Rudy Huxtable, still around. Raven Simone, who played Olivia, still around. Joseph, what's his name? Joseph Phillips, who played Martin, he's still around. So the main cast is still around, with the exception of our recently dearly departed brother Malcolm Jamal Warner, who played Theo. Just so many memories of that show. Of course, the Gordon Gartrell shirt, his where Dr. Huxtable wouldn't pay $95 for no shirt, and I don't blame him. Neither would I. And so Denise agreed to make him a shirt, and the buttons weren't aligned. It was all messed up. The hemline, it was all messed up. But his friends was like, "Hey man, that's a nice shirt." And then come to find out that Dr. Huxtable did buy him the shirt. After all that, he bought him the shirt. So, oh, and the sleeves on the shirt were all messed up too. It was funny because he was like, "Denise, what did you do?" Funny, funny classic episode. Um, when Theo told his parents to stop treating him like a child, and they took his bed out of his room and showed him how life works in the real world. Where Rudy was owned a bank, she owned banks. Vanessa was a mortgage broker or whatever, and it was tough. They wanted to teach him a lesson. Another episode I liked was when they put him on trial for being late for dinner or something they were going to, and he was late. And so his mom put him on trial. And Vanessa played the judge. Dr. Huxtable played the bailiff. Rudy and her friends were the jury, and what were the jury, and Mrs. Huxtable, Claire Huxtable, she was the attorney. Oh, and Cockroach, played by our brother Carl Anthony Payne, was Theo's attorney. It was a classic episode, classic. Then, of course, when he graduated high school, his prom was a disaster. They took a helicopter ride, and their date's hair was all messed up. The dress was all messed up. Funny, funny episode. Of course, when he graduated from college, which was the last episode or next to last episode. So, this classic moments of the Cosby Show, classic moments. And he was also in a show called Here and Now. So right after the Cosby Show ended in the spring of '92, in the fall of '92, NBC brought him onto the show called Here and Now with our brother Omar Epps, where he was playing a youth counselor. And I think Bill Cosby was involved in that show too, if I'm not mistaken. The show was great. It only lasted a few episodes. It didn't last a full season. I don't think it lasted 10 episodes. Great show, great cast, but NBC pulled the plug on it. It had the potential to last 5 seasons, in my opinion, but it didn't. And we know NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, they do these to black shows. They pull them early. They don't give them the the uh the chance to go into syndication. Only a few. Only a few. Good Times, The Jeffersons, Sanford and Son, The Cosby Show, A Different World, Martin, Living Single. Those are the ones that come to mind. Moesha. But 9 times out of 10, a lot of black shows don't get a chance to go to syndication. Girlfriends is another one, and The Parkers. But again, 9 times out of 10, a lot of these shows don't get the chance to go to syndication. They don't. But yeah, this one hurts. I know it happened 3 days ago, but this is my first opportunity I had to speak on it, and I wanted to take it and just pay tributes to my brother, our dearly departed brother, brother Malcolm-Jamal Warner. May Allah be pleased with him, brother. Thank you for the things you did for our people, for portraying our people in a positive light. Thank you for the music, for your poetry. Thank you for being just a good human being, a great husband and father, from what I've been hearing. Thank you, brother, and may Allah be pleased with you. Rest on, my brother, rest on. So, wow, wow. Mm. In any event, I don't want to get too emotional on here. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button so you get notifications when I do videos on here. Share this video, share it. Let's have a conversation. Let's flood the algorithms with this. Support my YouTube channel, my future projects. I need y'all love and support. So please, 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 please continue to support your brother. It'd be greatly appreciated. Please continue to support your brother. I love y'all immensely. I don't take y'all's love and support for granted. I love y'all immensely, and I really mean that. Um, Drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. In the likelihood, and I don't know why anyone would want to do this, but in the likelihood that someone disagree with this video or disagree with what I'm saying, we all entitled, we all have a right to our opinion. And the likelihood that you disagree with this, don't know why anyone would. Um, let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Please. Let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. In our disagreements, let's use logic, common sense, facts, and respect, not emotion and disrespect. That'll get you nowhere. Please. Brothers as well as sisters, y'all be safe out here. Beware and be aware. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy like never before. Just last Thursday last week, my wife and I were in Detroit, right around the corner from me, a 10-minute walk. a 10-minute walk, a, a minute and a half drive, right around the damn corner from me in my neighborhood. A young lady was gunned down senselessly. Her and her boyfriend were walking their two dogs. A car pulled up on the side of them. A guy asked for directions to San Jose, which is 40 minutes south of us, about 45 minutes south. San Jose, California. He asked her for directions. She pulls it up on her phone to give him directions. This devil gets out the car, um, and asks her, is she gang affiliated? Because she had a red bandana around her head. Her and her boyfriend denied it, said, no, we're not part of a gang. He pulls out a gun, laughs, laughs, shoots, fires a round into the ground, and then points the gun at him again and shoots the woman in the side, killing her, and then drove the hell off. Her boyfriend and her two dogs weren't hurt, weren't injured. But the fact of the matter is, this devil senselessly killed this young woman. She was just walking her two dogs and was with her boyfriend. This happened right around the corner from me in my neighborhood. We don't know where death lies. So it behooves us to beware and be aware. Not victim blaming at all. But this is senseless. This is a wicked world we're living in. And it's coming to an end because Allah will win the battle. Believe that. But I say all that to say this. Brothers and sisters, beware. Whether you going to work, coming home from work, the children are still out of school, many of y'all are on your vacation. Beware and be aware on your vacations. Even if you're not going anywhere, even if you're just in the comfort of your own home, doing whatever. Beware and be aware. Death lies around us at all times. I love y'all. Have a blessed, wonderful day. And again, may Allah be pleased with our late great brother, Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Salute to your dear brother. I'm out, y'all, and I will talk to y'all sooner than later, inshallah. And have a blessed, wonderful day. I'm out. Assalamu alaikum.